welcome back to The Perspective. Shoeb, you mentioned about various events that are paramount to be addressed by world leaders. The United States election, Brexit, the political situation in Europe, right here in Indonesia, Southeast Asia as well. All that, how is that going to play in the next 12 months? How is that going to affect economy in Indonesia? Let's focus down on Indonesia. There's also talk about war trade that are looming, of course, of the decisions that's made by leaders in the West. What is your outlook for Indonesia's economy in the next 12 months? How is it going to shape up, or do we? What's waiting for Jokowi's administration here?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think there will be great churn. So the government will have to manage this uncertainty, financially, which will impact the fiscal position. You can see currencies being very volatile. You mentioned the trade war. That is a major problem. Now, Indonesia is still a major exporter of many minerals. So we earn a lot of foreign currency from these exports, right? At the same time, we also import a lot, right? Now, the balance that we strike is going to be critical. Now, how does the government manage this is going to be critical. The Minister of Trade, will have to walk a fine line while we want to encourage and promote domestic industries, I think, which is very critical because they create jobs, it creates wealth within Indonesia, but at the same time, we cannot close our doors to the world. So that balance is going to be important. Businesses also will play a big role because do they keep investing, for example, in new technology, in new manufacturing plants, infrastructure spending is going to be critical. Everybody knows that, we have a huge infrastructure deficit. Now, how do we close that deficit? I think the government has done a sterling job in the last few years to start promoting more infrastructure spend. But that itself is not enough. We must spend more wisely. We must use more modern technology. We must be more efficient in our infrastructure spend. I think, and we must also be innovative, right? There are new financing models. We shouldn't close our minds to those models. We'll be looking at new technology that helps us build infrastructure more cost efficiently. Those are things that I think are going to be important going forward. Everybody knows we need infrastructure, yes, right. But how? Yeah. How do we build it more efficiently, more cost, cost-wise, as well as maintenance-wise, as well as making sure that the infrastructure we build has the largest economic and social impact. Yeah. I mentioned commodities, so a lot of our agricultural producers, I think, will see, hopefully, our farmers will see rising income, which hopefully will then, in turn, fuel consumption spending, which, it's a nice, what we call a virtuous cycle. So you want that to continue. You don't want it to stop. We want to, but like I said, there's a lot of uncertainty on the horizon. We don't know what's going to happen. Right. So are we prepared? Can we be flexible in our policy, both businesses as well as government? Individuals themselves, should be looking at, how am I going to be more productive? How am I going to contribute greater? The government, for example, is, tax amnesty program was very successful. Now they need to move forward. They need to come up with more innovative policies. I think that helps Indonesians to say, okay, it's not just business as usual. We really need to up the game all across. Right. And I think that's one of the things that we will see coming. Okay,
you said all the keywords that we've all seen, especially the media and the public, in the last 2 years: infrastructure, logistics, cost, food, agriculture, technology, digital economy, and these are the things that that if we can say that President Jokowi is very aware of, he needs to do in order to make sure of inclusive growth and welfare. Now, will this be part of the focus of your discussions in the Indonesian Economic Forum? As a founder, I mean, what will be your focus this year? What kind of discussions you hope to see between the leaders, the private and the public sector, to have down at the end of the year in the Economic Forum, the Indonesian Economic Forum?
Yes, okay, thank you. Yeah, the Indonesian Economic Forum has always been a platform for bringing different stakeholders together, and and sitting down and discussing and finding solutions. I think really everybody kind of knows what the challenges facing Indonesia are. One thing that we will focus this year probably is on execution. How do we execute better? How can we be smarter about the way we do it? What are some of the ideas that we can create ourselves? But at the same time, look around the world. We shouldn't be ashamed to say, hey, this idea works great.
Right.
And let's adopt it.
Right.
We shouldn't, and we can say, let's adopt it to our scenario, our circumstances.
Yeah.
And I think the Indonesia Economic Forum will really be looking, the other thing we're doing is that, while the big forum happens once a year in November, we are going to have, every month we're going to have discussions with industry leaders. So leading up to the forum, so that we engage them in a deeper way, and we kind of find out where they are heading. What are their challenges? What are they thinking about? We also, of course, we have always been very mindful that we also want to engage students, the young leaders.
Yeah.
So we have actually started a student program under the Indonesian Economic Forum where we engage with universities. So we send them kind of challenging statements, and then we see what they come back with.
Yeah. Which direction do they take the discussion pertaining to that topic?
Exactly.
So so we'll be expecting a more exciting Indonesian Economic Forum this year, then, with more involvement from not just the stakeholders but also the young leaders. Shoeb, thank you so much for
having me
and discussing about the new look of Globe Asia. But you gotta have this. But the new look, you'll have it for the next 12 months, not for the next. We hope. But the CEOs to watch in 2017. This is a January issue with Persons of the Year as well. And not only that, it has also the outlook of what's going to happen in industry in the next 12 months, and a look back. There's a segment inside, the look back of what's happened and what
a photo
events,
essay.
Yes, the events that's affected Indonesia as a country in the past 12 months. Thank you very much, Shoeb Kagda, the editor-in-chief for Globe Asia. Thank you for joining us on The Perspective. I'm Florence Armein. See you next time.